Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jamie. Today I'm going to be talking about my top three favorite ways to pull cash flow from my audience. This is going to be relevant to you if you're a coach, if you're a course creator, if you're a high ticket affiliate marketer, or pretty much anyone that sells anything online. Of course, you're going to need strategies to elicit cash flow. That's the whole purpose of us building a brand online while we're out here doing all this crazy stuff in order to get cash. That is the whole purpose, right? So, look, first and foremost, cash flow should be the priority in your business. And one of the mistakes that I see a lot of new affiliate marketers, new coaches, new entrepreneurs in general make is they spend a disproportionate amount of time building out funnels, building out websites, building out automations, making sure that everything is ticked off. They've got a list, everything, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, all that type of stuff, only to then find they don't really have a brand, they don't really have a traffic source. And then they find, well, without a traffic source, I guess I need to go and buy this crappy traffic source from any known network out there, and that is often the case. Now, the problem with that is they then don't really have a clue as to how to fix their funnels and their automations. They don't really know how to fix the issues that are going to arise as part of that. Now, worse still is that because of that, they also haven't learned why people are buying. They haven't learned the process to take someone from a complete stranger to then asking for and eliciting cash flow from them, right? So that could be anywhere from $5 right up to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, you name it, however much you want to ask for as part of your coaching affiliate offers, things like that, right? So this might seem a little bit odd the way that I've written this. This is actually going to be a post in my Facebook group, but I thought it's such a relevant topic. I feel like anyone that watches this channel is going to get a ton of value from this. Look, as you can tell, my style is relatively relaxed. I'm not really going to bother editing this too much, but I know that the few entrepreneurs that grab a hold of this stuff, you're going to find some pretty good value in it, and you're going to be able to start to pull cash flow from your audience using these three strategies. Now, let's dive straight into it. Right. So, first and foremost, I'm just laughing at my own writing there. Okay. So, the first one is it's a really simple model. I've used it to pull around about $60,000 out of my audience at this stage. That figure does tend to grow every time I use this method. I haven't really used the method that often at the moment, at least anyway. No reason in particular, just I'm mainly focused on other promotions. At the moment, I'm building out a virtual event. Lost my train of thought. A virtual event, and that's effectively where I'm putting my focus at the moment. Otherwise, I'll probably put these out more and more and more. I am actually currently doing a case study, which is the third option that I'm going to talk you guys through as well. It's worked really, really well, and I'll talk through why it works, how you can start to implement it in your business as well. But that is the reason. So anyway, these figures will probably grow. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so first and foremost, and I think this goes without saying, but sometimes people will come back to me and they'll be like, "Hey, that didn't work." I'm like, "Well, let's have a look. You've got three people in your audience, dude. Like, of course it didn't work." And so the first thing you're going to need is an audience. And now, over and above that, you're also going to need an engaged audience that has a level of goodwill. What I mean by that is that you've been able to provide some level of value in advance. You've been able to get them some results in advance, in which case then you have goodwill. Now, of course, the more goodwill you can establish with your audience, the easier it is to make offers and conversely make money. But that is going to be number one. Now, it doesn't need to be a large audience. I teach as part of my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind training program and coaching to elicit and extract cash flow from your audience, even if you only got 20, 30, 40 people in there. It doesn't have to be a huge audience, but you do need to have some level of goodwill in your audience in order to be able to make any of these cash flow strategies work. Number two is you're going to need some high value assets. So these can be things like training videos. Maybe you're doing what I'm doing here, you're just talking through a screen share. Maybe you create some PDFs regarding scripts or guides or templates. Maybe you go and create a little Word document that you roll into a little PDF, and that's basically the top 10 tips of how to close more deals in Messenger. There you go, nice and easy. That would take you about 20 minutes to create. So effectively, you're creating these high value assets as you go along through documenting what you're doing and also just growing your business naturally. You're going to start to develop some of these assets along the way. And of course, if you get more of them together, they're going to have a higher net value. Of course, and that is the goal of what we're aiming for here. You need to have resources such as Calendly. not a 100% requirement. You don't have to have it. You can actually get a little bit creative and go to, say, timeanddate.com and just use a meeting planner to make sure that you're lining up with the other person across the other side of the world. But easier if you've got tools and resources such as Calendly. Of course, there is a free option available, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. So if you're a coach, then you're going to need some form of cart page or a method of taking payment. This could be as simple as PayPal link or literally on Stripe, you can go and get a payment link. Nice and simple. It doesn't need to be a fancy cart page. Please don't waste your time doing that. And if you already have it in existence, then that's fine. Now, for the affiliates, just get creative with this stuff. Wrap it around an existing offer. And for this one, we're going to aim at a low ticket offer, and I'll explain a little bit more about why you want to do that in a moment as well. And quite simply, you're going to need a thimble full of courage. Now, if you are new to this stuff, you are an affiliate marketer, and I see this play out many, many times where people they're kind of okay at putting out content, they're kind of okay with reaching out to folks, they're kind of okay at basically building their brand to some degree, but there's a massive drop off where the actual monetization comes from. And often we'll look at what they're doing, and I'm like, well, how many leads do you have? Okay, well, that's the first problem. And out of those leads, some of them, yeah, I've got 20 leads. Okay, great. 20 leads is awesome. Good for you. How many of those people have seen your opportunity? Oh, look, funny story about that. And so therefore you can start to analyze where things are going wrong, right? Now I say that because what tends to happen for a lot of folks is they, like I say, they're quite good at that front end stuff, good at creating content, good at building their brand overall, but they're not good at making offers because it makes them feel a bit weird when they start doing it. So you need a little bit of courage to put yourself out there to start making offers. Because if you're not, then you're not going to make any money, right? What's the point of doing this whole stuff, right? We might as well be going back to jobs and all that type of stuff, right? So now the first two methods I'm going to run through are somewhat counterintuitive by nature. And what I mean is I'm a high-ticket affiliate marketer. I sell anything from 1K deals through to $5,000 through to $12,000 offers, sometimes with just a DM and a Google Doc, sometimes with phone calls. Really just depends on the context. Really, really simple method that I've got. If you want to check out more, feel free to hit the link in my bio there, or my description. It's going to lead you through to my free Facebook group, and you just kind of go through the process there and see what I'm all about. Anyway, super cool stuff, right? But here's the crazy thing. We are going to build, or these first two strategies are all based on low ticket stuff. Okay, really, really simple. Now, the reason for that, a couple of them. Number one is it's actually a lot easier to slap together a low ticket offer. Most people don't have any internal issues popping up when they are asking a relative stranger for something that's worth the price of a cup of coffee, right? $7, $100, whatever it is. Most people don't have too many issues with that. If I say, oh, go and ask this relative stranger for 5K, they start to melt. Their brain just goes into panic mode. And they see them falling on the floor and kind of going into a state of convulsion or conniptions, and it's not too pretty, right? And whereas by contrast, if you're relatively new to this stuff, then usually asking someone for $5 or $10, it's not such a big deal by contrast. So that's number one. The other part, and also you can get a little bit. You don't need to be as precise with your offer creation. You can just be a little bit kind of thrown together, see what happens type stuff, and a little bit more, throwing mud at the wall, see what sticks type attitude to it, which is quite beneficial for a lot of folks. It's also, the other part of it is it's easier to ascend someone if they have had a good buying process, a good buying process here. Let's just go with that for the moment. A good buying experience. Sorry, that was a word I was looking for. A good buying experience with you on the front end for a $5, $10, $20, $100, $200 opportunity, then there is a 60 to 70% chance that they will buy from you based on your recommendation again. Okay, 60 to 70% chance they will buy from you based on your recommendation in future. Okay, so that could be a number of things. It could be your own coaching if you're a coach. It could be the back end offer of your high ticket affiliate product. You might have a low ticket front end. You can ascend them to the back end, right? Don't underestimate how powerful this is. It could be that maybe they're not a high ticket buyer. I happen to have a couple of people in my audience, and bless them, I love them for this. They will never buy a high ticket offer from me. They've said, yes, I need help, let's go, and they just will not. I'm okay with that because here's the reason. Calculate their lifetime customer value in excess of $5,000. That's interesting because every time I come out with a low ticket offer, they're buying, right? They don't want to justify the expenditure or the investment of a $5,000 offer, but they are quite happy buying $200 to $300 offers on repeat. Hopefully, this is making sense. Right, so that's the other thing. The other part of it, and like I say, is the lifetime customer value. It brings me to my next point: is lifetime customer value. Because realistically, even if you're an affiliate and you don't own the actual customer itself, you're just referring business on to someone else. The reality is that you are the gatekeeper between that person and the product, offer, program, whatever it is you're selling, right? So therefore, even though that is delivering the goods, you are the one that is building the brand in front of them. So if you give them a good buying experience, you look after them a little bit, you help them out some stuff, you basically make that as seamless as possible, it is incredibly likely that they will buy something else based on your recommendation. Again, yes, it is for the vendor I was discussing before, the 60 to 70% thing, but of course it's going to be relevant if you are an affiliate as well. You can then recommend other products and services and different tools and resources you're using in your business to make life easier, and they're more likely to buy, right? So that's why you do it. Now, this is where we're going to leverage a couple of things, like pull a couple of levers in our business. So number one is scarcity. So we're going to cap out the numbers. There's going to be 2 spots available for this first one. I've field tested everything from 1 right through to 10. I found that 2 spots just works miraculously for this particular thing. I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so exclusive, so scarce. Now, the quickest I've been able to sell this thing out for me, I was selling it at $200 coaching call, was 23 minutes, and that was pretty cool, right? So 23 minutes, bang, 400 US bucks, nice and easy, 500-600 Australian, which is kind of cool. 23 minutes, that's not bad. Like, got the notification when I was on a tram, like I just left home, I put the post up, left home, grabbed a tram, bang, notification, sale. Nice, done, easy, right? So they do tend to go really quickly. Once you put these things out, you have a bit of goodwill in your audience, and of course, like I say, it's going to take a little bit longer if there's 10 spots available, etc. Exclusivity, and again, you don't make these offers all the time. You're doing it on random occasions, right? You probably could do them a little bit more often throughout the course of the week. For example, you might put them out at different time zones and then delete the post if it hasn't done anything, or maybe you've sold out already on one time zone, you put it in another time zone, so there's not too much of the way of crossover, things like that, right? And then you just delete the post afterward. So exclusivity, high value, right? So you are putting together something, and I want you to think about like putting $10,000 worth of value into something and then charging incrementally tiny amount for it. So think like 97 bucks. And if you're affiliate, you got like a super low ticket front end, $7, $10, $20, $30, 200, whatever it is. Like, get dynamic with this stuff. Like, so it is low investment, high value. Now, like I say, this process has netted me in excess of $60,000. I think that's probably a conservative figure, to be perfectly honest. I've been doing this for a good couple of years now, and I've adapted it to my style. Like I say, I don't do it every week or every month, but when I do, it works absolutely incredibly well, and I have a new list of buyers that I can then send to my next level stuff, right? Really, really simple. Right, so the setup with this one. So if you're doing things on, say, Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, basically just put out a post. Real simple. You can do it via email as well, of course. Pretty much wherever you like. I've got a Facebook group. That's what I specialize in, is monetizing Facebook groups. So going from 0 to however many thousands you want out of tiny audiences, feel free to check the link to join my free group and see what we're all about and how that might be applicable to your specific situation. So real simple. Put the post out. And it's effectively a direct response approach. So you're not worrying about nurturing leads or anything at this point. Like I say, all the goodwill has been built within your audience earlier. And it's really simple. Basically, look, I have an exclusive offer, special offer exclusively for 2 people, sorry. Once those spots are gone, this post will be removed and you'll miss out. So you're already implying scarcity, exclusivity, it even says that, and missing out, which then activates a bit of FOMO as well. And I probably need to put that in there. Let's just put that one in there as well. And so that's it, real simple. And then basically, once you've got that, you literally just bridge over to your actual offer itself, right? And the way that goes, you kind of want to lead with a coaching call. And so the reason for that is because I stumbled into this. So I borrowed this idea of a couple of marketers, Jacob Karras and Johnny West, many, many years ago. And so we had seen Johnny do it, and he just like he smashed it with this idea. Jacob said, that sounds cool. He tried it, worked for him. I also tried it, worked for me. I've adapted it since for my own approach. And what I've found is that if I've led with the coaching call, and so I actually sell the coaching call itself, then my ascension rate from the people that buy the front end to my next level offer, the 1 to 2K offers, things like that, is astronomically high. Like we're talking sort of like 20% minimum, which is pretty damn cool. Now, I have also tried without a coaching call, or sometimes I'll put a coaching call as like an added bonus. And what I've found is people go, yeah, I'm not ready yet. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you put a time frame on when they can take it as well, because you obviously don't want to have your time wasted, years down the track. Trying to like look at all these hundreds of coaching calls that you've sold that you're now going to fulfill upon. Got to make sure there's a time limit on that as well, just for your own peace of mind. Make sure that you're not got a calendar running rampant with these random low ticket coaching calls that you eventually start to become resentful on as well, right? Anyway, lead with the coaching call. And sorry to cap my story off. Basically, I stumbled into the idea of ascending people. Now, this is kind of crazy. I've been involved in sales since like 2006, I guess, on and off throughout my career, and then eventually left the workforce 2017, and kind of like struggled to build an agency and stuff like that. And then eventually 2019, I started like using the skills that I'd bought, managed to gain, I should say, through sales to then start selling high ticket products online. So I had my first 1K day in just 7 days from deploying a very simple process, which is pretty much what I now teach. And it's gone bananas ever since, right? And so here's the crazy thing. I didn't even think that I could take someone after I've sold them into my coaching call. I didn't really even think about the idea of like leading them to the next thing. And it was just like not even in the forefront of my mind. Now, I want to state this really clearly as well. You are not using this as a form of bait and switch, right? You're not saying, hey, I'll give you a coaching call and the whole thing's just a sales spiel, right? If you do that, A, you're a piece of shit and you're manipulative, and just, I hate that approach. I've had it happen to me numerous times. There's a whole bunch of marketers out there that still use that shitty tactic, so don't have to do that. You are genuinely giving value on the coaching call, genuinely giving as much value as you can. But here's where things get really, really easy. Simple sales strategy. Hi, person. Thank you for your time today. Did you get value from today's call? Yes, I did. Thank you so much for your time today. I don't know why I'm sounding robotic. Been spending too much time on ChatGPT. Anyway, great. That's great. I'm glad you got value out of that. So here's 2 things that you can ask. Number 1, hey, would you mind just dropping a couple of lines in my free Facebook group, just saying that you got a bit of value? It just helps with my social proof moving forward. So bang, you got a testimonial straight away. Most people are like, yeah, of course, no worries. Unless you prefer to do it here and we can just do it on video, and sometimes they do. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, now I've got a video one I can then use on my sales pages. I can get it transcribed, blah, 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 blah. So that's number 1. Second thing is, would you like to hear how it might be or how it might look if we were to continue working together? What do you have in mind? Well, great. Given that we've spent an hour together going over these issues that you're experiencing, and I feel, obviously 1 hour is not going to solve absolutely everything. So here's what I was thinking. And you got your program, you got your coaching offer, blah, blah, blah. And you'll find really simple that that's about as strenuous as the sales process goes. You'll get around about 20% will upgrade. Just like that. And you say, cool, no worries at all. There's no heavy pitch here. Like, here's some information to read through. Go away and have a think about it. No stress either way. Just let me know so I don't chase you around the internet like a bitter ex, right? Real simple. So that's it. That's about as strenuous as it goes. Now, the story, finally the story, gosh. So I stumbled into that, right? So I tried this technique. It worked really well. I'm like, oh, amazing. This is cool. So I made a couple $100. I'm like, sweet, this is pretty cool. Don't mind a bit of, a couple of hundy over here and a couple of hundy over here. That's cool. And then eventually, without me, I'd jump on these calls and then I'd just do my thing. And, well, that was great. I'm glad I was able to help that person out. And then after a while, people started circling back. They'd be like, Jamie, hey, how's it going? Hey, yeah, good. Thanks yourself. Had you get any insights after our call the other day? Yeah, I did. It was awesome. Oh, cool. Nice to hear it. And then they say, hey, listen, what else do you have? And I'm like, oh, right. Like, how can I help you continuing on here? Ting, light bulb moment. bang, all of a sudden I changed my own game. I realized, hang on a minute, I've left all this cash on the table because all these people probably just needed a little, like, just to ask the question, little nudge in the right direction, they would have bought some stuff, right? And that's not always the case. It doesn't matter, right? Like I say, you're looking at sort of like 15 to 20% upgrades anyway. So anyway, that's the whole story about coaching and how I stumbled into that. Now I've got it into a very optimized process. So anyways, lead with coaching call, value your time. I'm charging $500 an hour at the moment for my coaching. So if I ever do these, then I'll usually sell for 200, something like that, and that gives a ton of value. Bonus one, and sometimes these can be things like programs or workshops you've done. They can be things like guides or templates or files or things that you've got. And of course, speaking to the affiliates again, same deal again. Just wrap it up around your actual affiliate offer itself. So if it's $100 product, give them the $100 product. They get all that value from that. Just unpack what's already there. Add a couple of additional bonuses, lead with that coaching call, and now all of a sudden, from doing almost not much, that's an interesting turn of phrase, isn't it? Almost not much, you've now developed a ton of value out of nothing, right? Same offer, ton of value. Better service for them, right? Better value exchange for them. And of course, it's a bit of a loss leader, right? So it means that you might give up your time for less than what you'd normally charge. But like I say, the payoffs are astronomical because, like I say, you get around about 20% are going to upgrade, give or take. Now, don't quote me on those stats. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't want some kind of legal person going, Jamie, you promised, you said that there would be 20, and I got 18.95, you bastard. But do your own homework. What I'm saying is that it's easy to ascend people to the next thing. God, let me learn. Right. You can add as many of these as you want. Don't go too crazy though. No need to go mental. And basically what we want you to do is juxtapose the actual investment itself, which is a really fancy word. I just love the word. That's why I try to say it all the time. Sometimes I say it out of context for no reason. I'm just going to juxtapose this orange thing that I picked up off the desk. It means nothing. I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's contrasting the price, right? It's called price anchoring in copywriting. So that's what we're doing basically. And it's basically where you are looking at the value and you're showing the perceived value for someone and then giving a tiny figure by comparison. So instead of people going from zero and looking up to a $200 investment, going, oh my God, shock horror, that's terribly expensive. I can't do that. What you're doing is you're going, yeah, but you're getting all this value. It's like $1 trillion worth of value. It's only going to cost you $200. And now all of a sudden their thought process is coming down from that, right? So like, oh my God, that's massive. Whoa, so only $200, easy. That's incredible. As opposed to like at zero and it's going to cost you 200. Like, oh my God, now that like they see 200, it's like a sting. Anyway, that's why you do it. So, and then you also reiterate that it is a scarce offer. It's only available for 2 people, and you can also do a time decay on that. Basically saying, look, if no one's picked it up in the next 24 hours, I'm just going to delete the post as well. And that works absolutely bananas. Like I say, this is something that I've done for quite a number of years now and has worked exceptionally well for my business. I've been able to elicit tons of cash flow, both on the front end, build my buyers pool, and then that has a flow-on effect over a lifetime as well. Plus, a lot of the time, those people will, in pretty short succession, jump up to my next level coaching or something else that I recommend as an affiliate offer, things like that. So, like I say, if you're not a coach, you're not like jumping on Calendly and you're not doing all that type of stuff with your own payment gateways, just get a little bit dynamic with it. Just, that's kind of the whole purpose, right? So that's why we do it. Right. So, pretty groovy. Now, method number 2, this is a similar instance of this. It's something that I call the weekend warrior. I coined the term. It may well have been in existence before that, but I was trying it in real time, going, "Oh, weekend warrior, this is cool. I'm going to do that, right?" So same setup as before, pretty much. We'll say same ingredients as before. So we need some assets. We need like a Calendly link if you want to go down that path. You don't have to for this one, but it helps. And then just a couple of bonuses and things like that, and basically an audience that we have goodwill in. If you don't have an audience, go get one. Go and help some folks out and start building your audience out that way. Real simple setup. You have a hype day. So like I say, hopefully this is stating the obvious here, but hopefully you understand that it's over a weekend, right? Hopefully you get that because it says weekend in the title. So we start on the Thursday. You can go Wednesday and then just start selling from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you want to. I've found the 72-hour window tends to work really well. So Thursday we're doing a little bit of a hype day, and you're putting things like, hey, something big is coming. Oh my God, this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Everyone should totally jump on this. And if you're gluten-free and you don't like bread, then I'm sorry. I hope I haven't offended anyone. You get my point. The point is that you go and put something out there, you build some anticipation. It doesn't need to be super hypey. It's like, hey, we've got something pretty cool coming over the weekend. Can't wait to show you guys all the good stuff. Bang. And so you're just developing that sense of energy in your audience, right? Like, ooh, what is this amazing thing that you're about to reveal upon us all? So number two, and like I say, we are probably quite counterintuitive for folks, but we are looking at a low ticket offer. Also, the other thing, side note on low ticket offers, is if you are an affiliate and you're aiming to sell high ticket and you haven't sold anything at all yet, then it's just an easier way to get your confidence up as well. Just to go, cool, I can craft an offer that is evergreen. I can throw it out there. I can make a few shekels out of that. It's pretty cool. And you get some reward for your behavior, so that's kind of cool. And then, like I say, the ascension to your next level stuff is where you're aiming for. Right. So Friday, you're basically announcing the offer. Oh my god, the big reveal. Here we are, the big reveal. It's going to be awesome. And so then you're just putting out a post basically saying, look, you're going to get solid gold toilet seat. You're going to get a Rolls Royce Silver Ghost car. That would be awesome, by the way. And you're going to get a mansion, and you're going to get like whatever your heart's desire, basically a vault full of diamonds, whatever you crazy kids are into these days. Obviously, I'm being extreme and I'm joking, but you get the point, right? Like you put in a ton of value, and realistically, you're aiming to put out. So think about like $10,000 worth of value for absolute peanuts by comparison. That's the whole point of it. And so you've got a hard deadline at the end of the weekend, and it kind of creates this sort of like a buying frenzy, buying vortex, whatever you want to call it, because now you can start to get really flexible with the economic levers within your business. So you've got the time decay, so you know, okay, well, we've only got this long to get it, which creates a sense of urgency for people to actually buy, which is kind of cool. But then you can go, okay, well, I've only got 50 people in my audience, so what could I possibly do to oh, genius. I'm going to cap out the numbers. So I'm going to say there's only 5 slots available. Because there is. And of course, here's the trick. You actually got to if you say there's 5, you got to stick to 5, right? Stick to 5. And so therefore, you've got like a natural, not a natural, but you've got a scarcity there, which is kind of cool. So you're basically putting out content. So Friday, putting out content. And if your audience is contained on different platforms, then obviously feel free to spread the word around a little bit. And then just making it abundantly clear that there is, X number of spots available if you want to go down that path, and you can only get it until this date, right? So they know, okay, well, we've got a 72-hour window, and then a 48-hour window, whatever. Now, the way that this works is if you haven't already sold out by this stage, which often happens, but if it hasn't, then what you want to do is you want to treat it like a traditional launch. So traditional launch, depending on the context, of course, but I'll just discuss the last 24 hours. The last 24 hours, basically, as it kind of shows there, you do a final warning post. So look, I've made these up. You can just get flexible with the writing. I'm just kind of showing it for illustrative purposes. Use it as like an example if you like. 24-hour post. Hey, final warning. This is going away soon. So at this point, you don't really need to do too much selling, because hopefully the other content that you put out to this time frame are doing all the heavy lifting for you, right? So, hey, final warning, things going away soon. Don't miss out. You've got 4 spots left. Who's going to take it? 12 hours left, right? So count back from when your deadline was. 12 hours left. Deadline approaching fast. Don't miss out. Best thing since sliced bread. Everyone loves it. Yada, yada, yada. The 6-hour post. Are you really going to miss out on this? Really going to miss out on this? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm talking like that, but you get the point. And then 1 hour final chance expiring soon. And then if you want to get a little bit more aggressive, you can go optional sort of 15 to 30 minute mark, like, hey, closing in minutes, you and type style. And like I say, you can get flexible with the way that these are written. I just kind of threw them down there. And that's it, real simple. Now, it's going to feel stupidly uncomfortable the first time you do this if you are a coach or you're an affiliate, and you're kind of like, oh, it feels real salesy. But my question to you is, do you want to feel salesy and make money and know that you're serving your audience with an awesome offer and they've had a ton of value? Or would you rather stay broke? Right? It's kind of what you need to weigh up here. And that's the thing. And so, yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's going to make you feel exposed. You're going to feel too salesy to start with, and you're going to feel icky. But then the sales land, the people that you've served have an amazing experience. They are super grateful because you've actually thought about the value that you've been able to provide to them. They get an incredible bargain. and your time if you're selling coaching as well. And that's it, right? So therefore, that's it. Now, what I would also say to you folks as well is that it can look a little bit messy if you've got like all these posts like, hey, buy this thing, buy this thing, buy the thing now, please, or else life's going to end, type of stuff. So what I normally do is after I've done these types of launch, I'll just go back through and I'll delete the last 24 hours at least anyway. So at least, I'm showing that I'm pitching in the other posts and people can just reference it or maybe model them if they want. I don't really care, but it just keeps it a little bit cleaner from your profile and your group and stuff like that as well. Right. So that's it. Method number 3 is just a case study group. Works really, really well. And this is just going straight to a higher ticket offer. And again, it's probably more applicable for coaches, but if you have an affiliate offer that pays, I don't know, $750, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $1,500, whatever it is, then it's probably going to work quite well for that as well, right? So here's basically how we're going to go through it. You're using a direct call to action to get the metaphorical hand raise, like, hey, I'd like some info on this. Doesn't mean that everyone's going to buy, but you're eliciting data. And I can tell you from a mindset perspective, it feels a lot better when people are coming to you going, hey, whatever you've got, I'd like to get the thing and buy your stuff. Like, it feels better than you chasing folks around, right? It's also better from an energetical point of view. Energetical? Is that a word? Energetic point of view. Might have to look that one up later. Sometimes I make up my own words as I go along. Energeticalization. Cool, got it done. Right, so basically it just feels better from an energetic perspective when instead of you chasing folks and go, hey, are you ready to buy the thing? Yeah, people coming to you, you're like, sweet, I've got the solutions, they've got the problems, right? It's the way you need to think about it. What you are going to need is, in terms of some ingredients and things like that, is you're basically getting people to fill in a form. And the form just needs, it doesn't have to be too crazy. It's like name, date of birth, social security number, firstborn, blood sample, DNA, blah, like, no, I'm kidding. Obviously, you need their name, right? Clearly, hopefully you guys get there. Please tell me I'm speaking to an audience that understands that you need to get their name. It's tough at the top, I tell you what. Crowded at the bottom. I'm sort of halfway in between. So anyway, right, where was I going? Yeah, so basically you need a form. You put in some details into the form. You're asking for their name. You're asking for maybe their social profiles if you want to like get a sense of audience size, things like that. You also want to see if they've got an existing offer. You want to see if they're actually already making money online or you're in the context of whatever you're promoting, if they are getting results in that. You also want to see, and this is the tricky one, most people don't really want to ask the question, you want to see if they've got the budget, right? So the way that I think about these things is, and I put a range, like I don't make it static. It's just like, hey, do you have $5,000? Because if you don't, then you're a piece of shit, and you shouldn't be like filling this thing. I don't do that. Like, it's more like, cool, well, what range are you looking at? Because I might not have the right approach for you. I might not have the right thing. This might not be the right thing for that particular person. But is there anything else I can recommend? Because guess what? I'm an affiliate. I'm an affiliate marketer. So if someone comes to me and I can't help them out, either due to we're not a good fit, I can't serve them based on them wanting something completely different, or it's a budgetary thing, then of course I can help them out with that other stuff because it's affiliate marketing. I can refer some stuff. Here, try this thing. It's way better than that other thing, and this is probably going to solve these issues for you anyway. Here you go. Check it out. See what you think. Nice, easy sales, right? Now, here's something crazy to consider: is that people don't always feel super comfortable if they are in public, like on your profile and groups and different things like that, raising their hand, going, like, I've got a problem that I need solved, please, but don't tell anyone. Like, sometimes people feel a bit funny about that, right? And so what this does, especially if you've got an email list, is it creates a sense of anonymity because you don't know who else is like vying for these positions. Okay, and so therefore, as part of that, it can be quite powerful. You can start to get quite flexible in your offers. People are a little bit more forthcoming with stuff because it's kind of an anonymous thing, just you and the actual prospect itself. So the ingredients that we're going to need for this is an obvious, hopefully you guys get this by now, an audience. There's some goodwill in the audience. You can't just have an audience that hates you. Like, if you do and you're trying to sell them stuff, it's probably going to be quite hard. So make sure that they at least know, like, and trust you to a certain degree. You've got some goodwill. You've helped them out some stuff. You've got some authority within that audience. Now, I use Jotform, but you can use Google Forms, which is free, to do the exact same gig. It's really just a matter of eliciting a little bit of information, like say, what's their budget, what are they looking to achieve, what would be a win over the next sort of 60, 90 days together, how willing and able are you to make that investment right now, things like that, right? Now, if you are a coach or a course creator, other entrepreneur outside of affiliate marketer, you're going to need a payment gateway. Don't get fancy about this. You can literally just go to Stripe, get a payment link. Don't need to spend decades building out your funnel. And of course, if you want an amazing recommendation of a high ticket affiliate product, it's what I specialize in, right? I've done pretty well at it. So I run something called the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind, and it's basically where I show folks how to grow and monetize a Facebook group, build a personal brand, and pretty much sell whatever the crap they want, more or less, right? So I've got hundreds of students now, and it's an incredible program that really cuts to the core of fundamentals of sales, marketing, offer creation, and get to hang out with me, which is always fun. So anyway, if that's of interest, feel free to join my group and we can have a chat, see if it's the right fit for you. Anyway, my point being is that you can wrap up these types of things around an affiliate offer. Okay. Now you also need to have some time available to host these case study groups as well. And so here's how we're going to set things up. So you first and foremost want to consider what you're going to offer. Now, the last one that I did, I'm actually in the middle of it at the moment. I've got another couple of weeks left of that, but I basically gave them access to Ultimate Marketing Mastermind, gave them a couple of one-on-one calls, and gave them 4 weeks of this sort of case study intensive as well. And I'm like, that is a pretty damn good thing. I think that's an incredible value for folks. And basically, the goal with that is to accelerate their growth, like get them moving as quickly as possible to basically get them to profitability in their business. That's the whole goal of the whole thing, right? So, number two is you're putting out an email or a post or some form of call to action. And effectively, what you're doing is you're leveraging, again, the laws of supply and demand economics, so capping out the numbers. I've found that 5 tends to work really well. And this is just an example thing, so like, don't you can model it if you choose to. It was really just something I wrote on the fly before. Basically says, as if you guys can't read the screen, but anyway, I'll read it out anyway because I need to create a video and do the stuff. Right now, I'm looking for 5 and target demographic. So 5 coaches wanting to cut the time it takes to enroll clients in their high ticket offers down to hours or days, not weeks or months. This process has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for my business, and I want to give a few folks the inside scoop into a brand new case study. To apply to be part of it, simply complete the application below. Link in the email, or like put it in the comments if you post. Submission will close by X date. Cheers, Jake. Right. Now you could also take that a couple of steps further, and you could go, in this case, looking for number, so 5 coaches, so target demographic, high ticket affiliate marketers that want to scale to the first 5K online without spending hours in the DMs, without spending decades on the phone talking to prospects that are never going to buy anything, and sort of think about what you're taking away as part of the process, right? Because if you can, think about this for a second, just for a random sidebar, but if you're able to ease the burden of process for people, then they will pay shekels to get that resolved, right? In copywriting, we call this having a bleeding neck problem, right? These are the people that are ready, willing, and able to buy, like, right, meow type stuff, right? And so therefore, if you're able to alleviate that, like, wouldn't it be nice not to have to do that? You know how you have to, like, do work to build a business. What if you didn't have to? This is passive income. That's why it gets thrown around so often, because it's people want the ease in which they can obtain stuff. Anyway, that's it. You'll wait for the submissions. Depending on the size of your audience, you might get 1, 2, 5, 20, 30, 40, whatever, right? And they are a mixture. Some folks are just doing it for the sake of seeing what you're about, so they will basically just put in fake details, which is always fun. Thanks, guys. Love getting my time wasted. It's brilliant. And so then you basically just reach out to the folks that you believe that you can serve, right? And so there's going to be applications where you're like, okay, you're brand spanking new, you've never even heard of me or like any of the stuff, and you're not, like, you think everything online should be free. I don't think we're a right fit, like I love you as a human being, but I just don't think we're going to jive well, right? So therefore, of course, you don't reach out to those folks, or if you do, like, hey, thanks so much for your submission. Probably not for what we're doing. It's not going to be the greatest fit. However, is there anything else I can help you with if you want to be nice about it? Ask them if they'd like to be part of the case study group. Last one I did, I literally went through the maybe 4 or 5 folks, and then I just like sort of had an offer on the fly in the DMs. Here's what I've got. This is what we're doing. Blah blah blah. Have a read through this. See what your thoughts are. No, no, no. Yes, 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 yes. Cool. Bang, 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 bang. Lock it in. Yada yada yada. Nice and easy. Other folks, no thanks. Cool. Any feedback? I'd love to see if there's something else I can help you with. No, it's just an investment thing. Just not ready to bounce right now. Cool. No worries at all. Any reason for the submission on the application right now? Well, just wanted to funnel hack you. Damn it. Every time. Cool. No worries. Should I follow up in a couple of months? Is there anything else I can help you with to alleviate any of the burden that you're experiencing at the moment? Throw it out there, see what happens, right? Yeah, look to downsell. Now, all you need to do is quite literally rinse and repeat this process and refine it as you go along. So refine, rinse, and repeat, basically. Because once you do it the first time, you'll have an internal template in your own mind of what has worked, what you didn't like, what you would do differently if you were to have your time over again, things like that. And you refine it. And then it becomes a solidified, systemized process that you can deploy whenever you choose to pull cash out of your audience. That's it. Nice and easy, right? So these are all things that I've used very recently. Actually, no, sorry. The first one, I haven't used that for a little while. I think the last time I did a variant of it, and it was sort of like a pay what you want coaching call with a minimum. Same deal, same principle. You get all these bonuses plus time with me for a heavily discounted rate. Sold 9 spots. It was meant to be 10, but the last person pulled out. So sold 9 spots of that and did pretty well. And a lot of those folks have now since ascended to the next level offers, right? Likewise with the second one, haven't done that for a little while, but it's something that effectively I could probably roll one of those out every weekend if I choose to. I'm just, like I say, I'm focusing on my virtual event stuff at the moment, so that's where I'm putting the bulk of my energy and time and all that type of stuff as well. Anyway, so that's it, folks. Real simple one. Go and deploy these things. Get a little bit creative about the stuff. And like, if you want to take this to the nth degree, then I would pick one and I would put it in my calendar and I go, okay, I'm going to try it now. I'm going to try it in a fortnight's time, and I'm going to try it in another fortnight's time. Give yourself a lead-in time and think about what needs to be in place. I need to have an audience. I need to have goodwill in that audience. I need to have a badass offer. Don't sit on it. Don't overthink this stuff. The quicker that you can get moving with these things, the quicker you can deploy these strategies, you can work out what works, what didn't work, what you can improve next time, and really just start to refine this process so it works for you. Anyway, my name's Jamie. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you're interested in staying up to date with what I'm up to. May well do some more fancy videos in future, but I think for the time being, I'm just enjoying these kind of like random videos that are popping up. So anyway, that's it. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you, and see you in the next one. Cheers.